out, so he just decided to GG.
Yeah, so Losira right now, I'm pretty sure we're not going to see him do a blind hatch first opening. I hope he doesn't. A lot of the incredible Miracle Zerg players do like to do that. Nesty likes to do it. Junwei likes to do it. Junwei, who trained Losira, obviously Losira enjoys doing that as well. But, you know, the metagame in ZVZ is changing a little bit on the Korean server right now, so we're probably going to see that less and less in Code A and Code S this season.
Yeah, it also depends on the maps. A lot of the map assets are really going to affect what sort of strategies you can do. We do see a spawning pool coming down at 13, or actually 14 from Losira here. So we'll see what True is going to do to counteract it. It is actually going to be a fast expansion.
Wow, Losira is indeed going with the blind fast expo, and again, that may not be the best decision because he's in close positions on Metalopolis. Of course, this is kind of the original version of Metalopolis, where you do still have close positions, and the players are aware of that, of course, so really, that makes what Losira is doing even riskier. I'm honestly really surprised that he's doing that.
That is true, but because it wasn't a super fast spawning pool by Losira, he does have the ability to be able to defend against this somewhat easily. Hopefully he will be able to get down to Spine Crawl and be able to defend, or just be able to use that extra larva to get out the extra Zerglings that you might need to defend.
Two Overlords passing through each other magically. They're Magician Overlords. That's why they don't have to fight, because they need to keep their strength up. They've got a Vegas show a little bit later today.
That's very true.
Yeah. So I'm True. First couple Zerglings coming out right now. Doesn't really want to get too aggressive with it. And the thing is that he should be aggressive, because if he's not, he's going to have some trouble early on when, or a little bit later on rather, when the economy of Losira gets going a little bit better. Now you see how he's kind of scouting like that. He's looking for two things, I believe, right now. He's looking for Overlords to try to determine his opponent's position a little bit better, and he's also looking for Banelings, too. A lot of times if you go for really fast Banelings, those are the places that you're going to hide them before you move into your opponent's base. So a really good job of staying very safe by I'm True right now. And now Losira actually going for the Roach Warren, if we take a look at his base. He is getting that Roach Warren. That is a base of I'm True. No Roach Warren there, but he is getting an expansion.
Oh, you mean True is getting a Roach Warren?
No, that's Losira.
Oh my god.
Good morning, Torch.
Not slept enough.
Alright, anyway, we've got a couple queens out for Losira, our red Zerg player. Meanwhile, I'm True, our blue Zerg player.
Thank you for that.
is not getting a Roach Warren. He is playing a little bit more standard ZVZ, going for lots of Speedlings. Getting the Roach Warren first is a little bit less common. I like to do it in ZVZ. I really prefer Roaches over Banelings. But
yeah, once you get those Roaches out, the Banelings are kind of neutralized. You can block your ramp relatively easily.
That's a lot of Speedlings.
It is a lot of Speedlings, but these Queens are going to be able to make a nice wall here. They are going to be able to hurt these Speedlings from True. One Queen does go down, the second Queen goes down, and the Zerglings do get in. This is not good.
Yeah, that is actually hugely bad for Losira. He's not going to take a whole lot of damage from this group of Zerglings right here, but the door is open now for lots more Zerglings to stream in, and that's exactly what we're going to see. Those Roaches not going to be able to block forever. Now the question is, will I'm True decide to go after that Speedling all-in? Looks like no, he's actually producing a Roach Warren himself, so content with just killing the Queens right now. Killing those two Queens is actually a huge, huge score for I'm True, because that really, really cuts down the ability for Losira to produce more drones and more defensive units as well. As you can see, Losira behind 15 to 21 Harvesters despite being on two bases.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because True's initial force forced Losira to produce a lot of extra fighting units. Not quite good for the economy, but he is pretty safe now moving into the mid-game. And we just continue to see fighting units coming out here. True is producing a lot of Roaches to make sure that that count actually evens out a little bit, while Losira is pushing through, pushing across the map to try to put a little bit of pressure onto True. If he can get this expansion down, he does pull himself a little bit ahead in the game, even though his worker count is a little bit lower.
And here comes Losira with basically an all-in attack. The Lings are getting in, but he just does not have enough Roaches. I think, yeah, that's going to be it. It looks like I'm True is pulling the drones as well, but I think he's got enough. And really, if I'm True cleans up this attack by Losira, he's going to be in a great position. Yeah, Yeah, it looks like he's going to be just fine. Losira's last roach is being forced down the ramp. Queen is there as well, kind of sort of waddling very, very slowly.
Now, this first force was pushed back, but we do have a lot of speedlings streaming into the base of I Am True. He is going to be able to come up here and take out a lot of these hurt units from I Am True. If he can get the Queen down, that's going to be huge.
The Queen down to 3 hit points right now, and it does go down. The Roach is taking out the Queen as well.
There is no more Queen left here for I Am True. He's not going to be able to inject larva. His larva count is going to diminish very, very quickly. He's not going to be able to get the reinforcements he really needs to be able to fend off these forces from I Am Losira. However, he does have a few more drones right now, but they are dying very, very quickly to the roaches.
Wow, Losira just doing the smart thing and going all in. There's a GG. Losira takes game 2. I really did not expect that, honestly. I didn't think Losira would be the type to just decide to go all in. That's not a typical move for him. But in this particular case, a very, very smart thing to do. It won him the game.
Yeah, he noticed that he was down on the worker count and decided to just push in with the extra units that he had built early on for defense, thinking that he was going to be the one defending against the all-in. But he reversed it on I Am True and was able to take that game relatively easily once he pushed into the main base. So we are going to get this next replay queued up for you guys.
Thanks for watching. This is Clash of the Houses. This is an inter-team, or intra-team, I guess you could say, in-house battle between the players of Incredible Miracle, all the ones that live at the house at least, and they're battling it out to see who's going to come out on top. Again, this is put on by CyberSportsNetwork. Thanks a lot to them for sponsoring this great event. Again, I am Doe, of course. With me is Torch. I'm doing a little bit of casting this morning, warming up for COTH a little bit later today, but this event itself is just huge as well. I mean, how often do you get to see all the great players of Miracle play outside of the GSL? So, wow, mad props to Cybersports Network for actually getting awesome games from top Korean pros outside of the GSL as well. Very cool.
And this is something that we're going to be trying to do a lot more, so if you have any feedback for how we can improve for you guys, please let us know. You can get at us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Justin TV. There's a few threads on Team Liquid to check it out. There's a lot of coverage from previous esports events as well. There will be a lot more coming out in the coming weeks from GSL, from MLG, from NASL, everything going on in the esports world. I know I only listed StarCraft 2 things right there, but that's because...
Yeah, we cast StarCraft 2.
Matters
That's what
the
we
most.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't play Smash Brothers. I like Smash Brothers, but I don't play it professionally.
I don't think anyone does right now. But I could be wrong.
Sad. Well, they still do have tournaments. But anyway, enough Smash Brothers. Now we're going to see a different Smash Brothers of sorts. Zerg Brothers in Arms at Incredible Miracle. Losira versus True. This is going to be Game 3. Who's going to take the match? It's going to be on Zelnaga Caverns. Let's get going.
Let's get going indeed. And now, I am Losira in red. I will make sure I do not screw that up this game as well. He is going to be bleeding out the blue Zerg. I Am True.
I don't know. Could be possible, but I Am True showing that he's forced to be reckoned with as well. Now, I'm guessing... Now, here's the thing. I know it's going to sound kind of cliche, but I actually am really curious to see what Losira is going to do as far as his opening goes. He's gone hatch first twice, and that's what Losira likes to do. He loves to get that economy going, but this map, it's a 2-player map. If I'm True 9 pools, Losira's in big trouble. So is Losira actually going to scout, or is he just going to kind of trust in his mechanics, trust that he'll be able to hold off whatever I'm True sends at him? I think it'd be smart not to. Losira doing an extractor trick. Of course, a lot of the IM Zergs do like to do that, and ST does it. We saw Junwei do it as well.
It seems to be more of a trend of StarCraft 1 Zergs compared to StarCraft 2 Zergs. In StarCraft 1, it actually made a pretty big difference to do the extractor trick depending on the build you were going. And it's just something that carried over into their habits of StarCraft 2.
Now, was Losira a StarCraft 1 Zerg?
He was. I don't know if he was any player of note back then.
Okay.
And I think he went by a different name.
What?
Interesting to see.
Green players changing IDs? No, that never happens.
Yeah.
Never.
Fortunately, they're all moving into the romanization, so we can actually read it.
It's a little bit easier, yes. That's very, very nice of them to actually do that to make it easier for the foreign players to watch. So
that is very true. And
Yeah.
another thing that's interesting to see is another fast hatchery by Losira.
yeah, without scouting as well. So again, very risky moves by Losira. I can't state that enough. Hatch first is great, unless your opponent 9 pools, and then you usually just die, as we saw happen game 1, and almost game 2, really, as well. So, I don't know, we'll see. So here's the thing. Looks like I'm True is going to be getting that Zergling speed very, very quickly. He's going to have almost enough gas once that finishes to get that going. Very, very crisp timing from I'm True, only needing to wait a couple seconds to get that Zergling speed started. Meantime, Losira's base is about 2/3 of the way done, and the first gas is being built as well as the pool. Now Losira is going to be able to toss 3 drones in there and keep up mineral production in a way that I'm True might not necessarily be able to do, just because Losira does have more drones. But here come the first Zerglings for I'm True.
Yeah, these first Zerglings are going to be the key because they are going to get the scouting up. The Overlord does see that as a fast hatch, but he does not know what's actually happening within the base. There could be Speedlings coming out, there could be Roaches, it could be Banelings. It really depends on what you see from these first Zerglings to determine where you branch your own
Could
build.
be Ultralisks.
Could be Ultralisks.
Could be
Fast
one base
Ultralisks,
Ultralisk.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speedless?
Speedtralisks.
Yeah.
Those don't exist anymore.
Oh.
They were a lot faster in Brood War. I mean, we were watching that the other day. Man, I forgot how fast Ultras were.
So these first Zerglings are going to actually get repelled. Losira's timing was quite nice for this. He was able to defend. He's not going to be able to do any sort of counterattack because he did put up the fast expansion. But it is going to help him stay alive. And then with staying alive, he has a bit of a production and economic advantage over True. True is deciding to throw down a hatchery as well, so it's not going to be any sort of a quick game going on right now.
True is actually not producing any drones right now as well. He's just producing tons and tons of lings. He's getting the hatchery down, but I think he's going to try to go for the kill right here. He's got a good group of lings there threatening, and if he can get into the main base, he can see some stuff. Losira looks pretty well defended, though.
Yeah, he really has a very tight window to do any sort of little damage, because as soon as Losira gets his speed up, there's no advantage whatsoever for I Am True. So that fast spawning pool over a fast hatchery is the window to make it give you an advantage is slowly or very quickly disappearing.
Now Losira with a massive amount of Zerglings moving back down the field. I'm True needs to fall back. Zergling speed will finish for Losira before they get there. There they go. They kicked in the NOS. Remember Fast and the Furious? The NOS button. Those Zerglings hit the NOS button. And is it going to be enough? Huge Zergling battle down at the main of I'm True, but it looks like our blue Zerg has just enough.
And it's surprising to see that Losira is actually going for a Roach Warren instead of Baneling Nest, because there are so many Zerglings on the field. The Roach Warren is going to be more of a defensive play right from the beginning. However, he does have a lot of Zerglings himself. It's going to be interesting to see how this battle turns out. But the reinforcements from True
Sorry.
come in and chase out the remaining forces of Losira, forcing him to run all the way back to his base and to the safety of the Queen. He thought he had the advantage. He was trying to bully True, but turns out he had to run back to Mommy.
Now, a lot of those Zerglings are at pretty low health. I mean, they are regenerating a little bit. There are reinforcements, but right now, Losira, I think, a little bit behind. What's the unit counting station say about the number of units out? 38 to 34, Losira slightly behind, although there are roaches excuse me, on the way now for Losira, and that's going to help quite a bit.
That is going to help quite a bit. He did get supply blocks slightly. Not exactly sure where that came from, but we do have a battle going on right now. The Queen is taking a lot of damage, but also dishing out a lot of damage at the same time. This Roach is out, and as you were saying, it is going to make a huge difference in this battle. The Zerglings do get pushed back, however, at the cost of a Queen.
Yeah, losing that Queen is huge in ZVZ. That cuts your production a lot. But looks like more Zerglings coming in right now. They're going to try to surround the Roaches, but Losira is back with more Roaches and more Zerglings. And those Roaches might allow Losira to become a little bit more aggressive lately. Replacement Queen comes out right now. She's going to go right after that Overlord. Gotta be careful, though. That Queen could get surrounded and picked off pretty easily if Losira's not careful. Yeah, he is going to pull back the Queen. Not worth it for just one Overlord at this point in the game.
And the loss is exactly even for both players. However, with Losira's economy slightly ahead for the entire game, he does actually have a bit more unit count here. And some of those unit count is actually in Roaches, which is much more valuable than having Lings with the same supply count. However, these Lings are going to be able to do a bunch of damage here, possibly take out the hatchery of Losira. However, Losira is going to be pushing in, taking out the queen and a few drones here. If he can take out a significant number, it's really going to affect the income rate for I Am True. However, the production rate for Losira is really diminished because of the hatch being taken out.
Yeah, he lost his hatch, but at the same time, he did a pretty good amount of damage, picking off a queen, picking off some drones. Is it going to be enough, though? That's the question. I don't know if it really is. Losira's probably just going to go all in at this point. I doubt we're going to see him rebuild that hatchery. It's kind of hard to recover from that if you tried to, re-macro. In the meantime, I'm True producing a ton of Zerglings, going down through the John the Translator Common Knowledge hallway. He's going to try to do exactly what Losira just did and squeeze around the backside. Losira sending another group of Zerglings along the left side of the map, trying to sneak in again, possibly kill a couple drones. But he might need every unit he has to defend against this huge attack from I'm True. In fact, I don't know if that's going to be enough. I'm True just has a ton of Zerglings right now. Let's see that unit counting station. I want to see the actual numbers. It's 51 Zerglings to 36 for Losira. Losira does have 8 roaches, however, so...
Yeah, he might need to pull back onto the ramp. If not, he can get it surrounded quite nicely by I Am True and take a lot of damage. These roaches are getting hurt pretty bad, but they are staying alive. However, all the lings are gone now, so the roaches are going to start to go down quite quickly to these lings. It's really going to come down to this fight. If Losira can defend it, he will be okay and will be able to counterattack like he's doing. Oh, no, he's not doing quite yet. He does defend, yes.
Wow.
But he is not able to immediately counterattack like I was expecting.
No, he needs some more units before he does that. And the problem right now is, well, I guess it's not much of a problem if there's only 2 drones mining from that base. That's really only 1 effective mining base. There are banelings on the way from Losira as well. He's going to lose a couple Zerglings to all the Zerglings of I'm True, but as soon as those banelings spawn, he's going to walk them right down to the other base. And now here's the thing, is that now we're going to have to see some great micro from I'm True, because those drones, or those banelings rather, are just going to be on a move command, and they're going to walk all the way to the mineral line unless I'm True does some very, very good micro to take them out, trying to pick off a couple Zerglings as well. But here come the banelings and the Zerglings for Losira. I don't know, it's going to be pretty close.
And the banelings are waddling across the field, blowing up every once in a while. You want to try to have 1 baneling for 1 Zergling from the Zergling perspective.
Oh, a lot of the banelings wasting themselves on the queen, but it will still go down to the Zerglings of Losira. Here come the banelings. Oh, be very, very careful. Oh, taking out a couple Zerglings there. And quite a few. Losira not doing too bad at all, really. He could just reinforce with more lings, and I think probably win the game. A lot of the drones are dead right now for I'm True. I think. Did he just move them away down the hallway?
Nope, all the drones are actually dead except for the few in the main.
Wow, 5 drones to 16 for Losira.
This game is definitely over. However,
well, it's
I Am True staying in it.
No banelings though for I'm True. That's kind of the big thing. If you want to take out a lot of drones, you really need those banelings. Losira is going to be able to reproduce more Zerglings than I'm True can handle. Those 2 Zerglings kind of just there for moral support. GG from I'm True as soon as he sees the amount of drones that Losira still has. And Losira takes game 3, and he will take the match then 2-1.